Contingency theory models and the variables within the framework of the contingency leadership theories help to determine 4 leadership styles, as presented by LKam for MW8, the 4th module of the Leadership Skills Theory and Application class. As Lucier and Achua from Leadership Theory, Application, and Skill Development have stated, contingency leadership theories are dependent on 3 variables: the followers, the leader, and the situation. To determine which leadership style would be more effective, one needs to study the capabilities and motivation of their followers in the organization. Next, the leader needs to have a self-awareness of their personality, behavior, and expertise. And finally, the situation. Is the job primarily repetitive or routine tasks? Is the structure regimented? And being sensitive to the environment. The selected leadership style is determined by these variables and classified into 4 different theories and models and their determination processes. The first leadership model we will be analyzing is the contingency model, based on Fred Fiedler's situational leadership theory, or how the leader's style best fits with the job. He believed that the leader's personality and behavior remained constant, and part of their job is to change the job situation to match the leader's style, to maximize performance and achieve organization's goals and objectives. But first, there is a sequence or order in which to make this leadership style selection. First, there is a sequence of order in which to make this leadership style selection. The leader needs to establish their LPC scale rating. Are they more task or relationship oriented? Fiedler provided a self-assessment situational quiz to determine your LPC, or least preferred coworker quotient. In reference to the contingency framework, once the employee profile and leadership style is established, the next and final step is the situation favorableness. As the pyramid of employees note, the success of the pyramid, the metaphor for performance, is based on the routine or regimen of the job tasks, and finally, the power of the leader. Is the leader weak or powerful? Are they responsible for compensation increases, personnel hiring, and firing? How much power do they possess in the employee's future? However, Fiedler's constant leadership style does place the onus on the leader to change somewhat by establishing rapport with employees on a more personal level, in addition to the work relationship, and then the leader is able to make adjustments to how the employees implement their task, and if needed, to adjust the task in keeping with the leadership style, so the employees may need some adjustment in how they do their jobs, and the overall procedure of the task itself may also need adjustment. To summarize, Fiedler's contingency theory, or situational leadership, noted that the leader needs to first analyze the employee's profile and their relationship with the leader. Next, become self-aware of their leadership style as task versus relationship-oriented, and finally, discover whether they need to adjust the job situation to match their leadership style. The leadership continuum style is the next model that, like the Fiedler situational style, needs 3 variables to review prior to the leadership style selection. the leader needs to analyze if the organization is boss-centered or employee-centered, contingent on the situation and if all are maximizing performance. The idea behind the continuum style is that leadership style moves along a continuum based on time. How much time does it take to make a decision will determine whether the leadership style is autocratic or participative. And these 7 levels of leadership styles adjust accordingly. Therefore, the first and second leadership styles of stating the decision and then stating the decision and convincing the employees places the leader in making the decision and informing the employees of its implementation. Any feedback will also be handled at the second leadership style level, with no feedback from the first level. Time being of the essence, and thus the decision for this autocratic style. The third and fourth levels of leadership is open to receiving input from employees. However, only the fourth level will have the opportunity to adjust the decision based on their input. Levels 5 and 6 allow the employees the opportunity to make the decision as presented by the leader within time limitations. And the final level, being the most participative, is the employees making ongoing decisions from beginning to end within time constraints. As noted, the more the employee participation, the longer decision-making process and maximizing performance may be affected. And to summarize, within the framework of contingency theory, continuum notes that the employees are indeed followers and subordinates. But due to the time situation, as the organization is time situated, the leadership styles move along a continuum from autocratic to participative. However, the more employees are included in decisions, the more time is affected. The next model is the path-goal leadership theory. This theory's goal is to maximize performance with employee motivation. This requires knowing each employee personally, working with them to establish goals and rewards based on their values, establishing expectations by helping them to implement their tasks to maximize their performance, and empowering them towards achievement. This motivational process does require much leader time and energy, but in the long run, each employee will develop into future leaders or expert followers who will train new incoming employees, and they will work in concert with new employees along with leader. This becomes a shared leadership model as well. Unlike the previous models, the path-goal model analyzes the situational characteristics of the employee first. How do employees get along with one another? Who needs to be led? Who works independently? Who do employees go to as their lead for information? Second and thirdly, do the employees believe they are competent to complete their tasks and objectives, and is their task instrumental in the overall goal achievement, or is the goal actually controlled by others? Do the employees feel a part of the team? These situational factors are crucial to employee motivation. After this assessment, which is time-consuming, getting to know each of your employees, their goals, their desires, their values personally, this can be integrated into the orientation of new employees going forward. The next step is a leadership style: directive, supportive, participative, or achievement-oriented. These are guidelines and can be interchangeably used based on your employees. For the employees with low ability and probably low self-esteem, the task is highly structured for building group work, and then multitasked or scaffolded as the employee's perception of their abilities rise. Autocratic or directive leadership is suitable and appropriate. For the employees whose tasks are simple and who are skilled and working in sync with maximized performance, autocratic leadership is unwelcome, and the supportive leader is more appropriate. And although job satisfaction is not a motivator, the work group gets the basic and simple job done. For the employee who wants all the benefits but none of the responsibilities of decision-making, the participative leadership is appropriate. Here, the tasks are complex, but the employees are skilled in their abilities and work together well, having established a rapport with one another to have more seasoned employees help those new employees with the experience of their years of service. In this employee profile situation, leaders need not have a power position. Employee job satisfaction is not an essential factor. For the employee who is open to autocratic leadership, have always gone to the leader for help in task project achievement, is used to strong leaders, and who have become skilled in problem solving by locating appropriate resources for their tasks and objectives, the achievement-oriented style provides an opportunity for growth, projecting goals higher than already noted for those already job satisfied and those with lower job satisfaction, as the leader adjusts tasks to more manageable levels with more structure in consideration of the employee needs and abilities. Summarized, the path goal framework relies on determining the employee or subordinate profile first. Then leadership style will follow: directive, supportive, participative, and achievement-oriented, and use the various leadership styles to work towards job satisfaction and maximum performance. As if employees' profiles develop as a team, the leadership is adjusted to the employee's work situation. In the model of the substitutes theory of leadership, it is one where followers and the situation neutralize the need for a leader. There is little need for problem solving, as the job is routine and methodical, with highly skilled employees whose goals and objectives are clearly defined and who look to the rules and regulations for enforcement. And the leader becomes a position where their direction is of support and consideration. And as such, the framework is basic and simple. Followers are subordinates, leaders are none, and the situation is task-oriented toward organizational goals and objectives. As a teacher in the special education department, the path goal theory model works best due to the complex nature of dealing with individual students with special needs. This requires daily problem solving, however, when resolved for each individual student, becomes a template for antecedents and responses to or prevention of the student inappropriate behavior towards appropriate behavior for academic and life skills learning. The very nature of the job requires motivation, clear defined paths towards reward, increase of rewards in keeping with employees' values and desires. Leaders who work interactively with followers to implement task accomplishment and receive organizational rewards. In our special education teaching department, many of the models could apply. However, I believe that in any organization, everyone needs a leader to empower them by personally working with them to complete their task, maximize performance, as it also builds leader-subordinate relationships, teamwork building relationships, and communication.